Hello, dear friends. Once again, you are very, very welcome. Guys, we start by apologizing for keeping you waiting. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love. This is just on passive. We really do appreciate. There are times we want to be really on time, but because of technical reasons, one thing or the other, we have to make things work. Without which, oh my God, this show will not hold. And what are we doing here? Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for your patience. Today is another sweet night. Be ready, guys, to join in this conversation because it's going to be hot. Join in, chip in your contributions, share your perspective, ask questions. And if there's someone in the house who does not know what we're doing, this is Insights with myself, Comfort from the United Kingdom, and Lynn Nakamoto all the way from the USA. So it's an educational platform. We just want to explore anything because, this is the era of information. If you don't ask, you will not know. If you don't seek, you won't find. If you don't seek knowledge, you don't understand. You will be left behind. So we seek, we find, we learn through people by listening to stories. We share the experiences and learn from what people have done. And why not? Because we have a solution. It's not just about telling people that this is where I've been, this is what I've been doing. But if there has been a problem or there's a problem or there seems to be one, there is a business that we have that we're offering to the world, which has the solution to everything you do, be it business, financial problem, any kind of thing. And we are talking here about none else but our almighty ONPASSIVE, a never seen before millennial company. Guys, in the house today, we have a very beautiful lady all the way from Kenya, even though she is based in the United States of America, called Gladys. I don't have to keep you waiting for so long, guys. Ladies, until Lynn, just take over because you know me.
Yes, we're really, really, really pleased to have Gladys here. You know, Gladys to me is special. Okay. How is she special? I think she's very loving, she's kind, and very humble. And I've worked with her directly for the last several months, and I just feel very bonded with Gladys. And I think she's made me a better person. So today we are here to learn a bit more about Gladys, about her personally, as well as some of her professional background would be interesting as well. But maybe we can start with, if you don't mind, Comfort, start with Gladys just telling about herself, growing up,
All right.
where you were raised and that kind of thing. I would be interested in hearing that.
Guys, are you interested? Just let us know if you're interested, of course. Carry on, sis. We know they are interested. Everybody wants to hear. All ears.
Hello everyone, my beautiful friends, fellow ONPASSIVians and friends on YouTube who are watching us today live stream. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you to Sister Comfort and Lynn for this opportunity. And the more so, I say thank you to God who has given us the opportunity to meet today. And thank you to Ash, our CEO, who is the reason why we have this platform today. Because if it was not for ONPASSIVE, I could not know Lynn, I could not know Sister Comfort. Thanks, everyone. So my name is Gladys Nyaboro. I'm originally from Kenya. Currently, I reside in North Carolina in the United States. And I am very passionate. I am your friend, and I am very passionate being a founder. I am a proud and happy founder. And why I like ONPASSIVE so much, it's because it resonates with me. How I was raised, the values that I've learned there. I grew up in a family of 5 children, and we learned really to share from when we were young. And so when I came to ONPASSIVE and found on Bless, I said this is it because it's going to help me to fulfill the dreams of my life. I'm passionate about helping people, charity, because we grew up with little, but we lived like we were rich because we were sharing a lot. And so that's really my passion, reaching out and holding one person's hand, because I'm a living testimony of that. Had it not been that a priest in our local church back in Kenya, had he not identified me and held my hand, I could not be here today. Thank you so much for that chance for me to share.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sister Gladys. It's always a blessing listening to you because you say a lot of sweet things. I appreciate the fact that you say, sharing to you guys, even though it was little, but the love in it made it look really big. And that is why you are here. We really appreciate. But before we really go ahead, if you could tell us again, when did you join on passive, and then have you at least had an opportunity to do some online business or anything apart from your profession as a nurse? We just want to see how to compare the two before we finally delve into why we are here tonight.
Thank you for that question, Comfort. I came to this country, first of all, to start from why I came here to the United States to study, and I became a nurse. When I became a nurse, I started to work. Of course, the job was able to pay my bills, was able to put food on my table, but it wasn't able for me to be able to help people back home. So in 2018, I had tried two businesses. One never launched as it promised it will, and we paid way more than what we paid in ONPASSIVE, only $97 in ONPASSIVE. And we never got a refund back. And then another business started, but I never earned anything from there. So when I found ONPASSIVE in 2018, July, I said, this is it. When I had the vision, called our CEO, Ash Mufari, and spoke to him, and he told me the vision that he had actually was about people, not him, giving people time freedom and money freedom. And those two for me were enough. So I said, this is the place to be. I signed up to become a founder, and I never looked back.
Yeah,
All right.
if you don't mind, I'd like to know a little bit about that phone call that you had with our CEO, Ash Mufara. I'd like to hear the dialogue.
That's always very, very interesting, actually. When I called him, because he's somebody we didn't know each other, we had not spoken before, I expected him to call back and give me the information straight up. But when he called me and I answered, the first thing he wanted to know is me, the person, about, where I live, about my family, about where I live. That's when I told him we live in New Jersey, but currently we are in Florida for vacation with family. And he asked me, how long are you here? I said, we have been here for 2 days more, and we are going back. And then he asked me, how do you compare New Jersey to Florida? And I loved it. They said, can we move? And then he continued to ask me about culture. Do I like interacting with the people? And then he told me how different Florida is from New Jersey, and New Jersey being near New York, Texas, California. So much about culture, food, and he did not mention about the business. And when we were almost saying bye is when I asked him about the business, and he told me it's a business that was meant to give people time, freedom, so that they can spend time with their family while earning money. Very, very gentle person, very listening, and I felt the honest. That was big to me. I felt that honestness when he was talking, and I was like, this is the place to be. And I never changed.
I think when Mr. Mufara speaks, he takes an interest, right? He took a direct interest in you, the person, not the person that's going to make him money, but the person, herself. And I think that's what's special about him.
Yes, and he likes, I think, knowing him now through these 4 years, soon to be in the next 1 week or so, he is somebody who wants to bring value to somebody, not take value from people. It's not about what he gets, it's about what he gives to the person or to the people. And we have seen it. And many might not believe it, but in the next, very, very soon, people are going to say, I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry I never believed. But you know what? We welcome them as resellers.
This is true.
All right. Okay. Auntie Lynn, if you would permit me, please. Guys, thank you for joining us. And if you are just joining now, this is Insights, myself, Comfort, and Lynn Nakamoto. So our special guest today is a beautiful woman called Gladys. and we are discussing. Gladys has a passion for helping the people, for helping for helping people, especially the underprivileged. As you just heard, she says sharing to her is caring because she grew up knowing how to share from childhood. And I know, Gladys, even in our conversation earlier on, you were like, I just don't find any reason why we should eat and have excess while the next door neighbor is hungry and starving, right? And more to that, you say you just want to be the voice to the voiceless. So I get a lot, there's a lot of weight behind that. What do you mean?
Thank you, Sister Comfort, for that question. If we look at the society, there's a very huge gap between the haves and the have-nots. And the sad thing is that it keeps growing and growing. It's not narrowing anytime soon. We have seen that as we have grown. And if only those people who have could make just one turn to the right, if those people have just a little bit more, we are not asking for those who have too much. If only they could turn to the left and look at their neighbors, or to the right, to the left, to the front, or to the back. If each person can do that, you will find someone who really needs help. But unfortunately, we live in a society where everyone wants to better themselves, want to have enough, fence themselves in. I'm sure you see that in Africa, where when someone has so much, they make sure they have a concrete wall so that the poor neighbor cannot be seen by the guests when they come in. To no offense. So my desire is, and I thank God for all blessed, because we are more than 1 million founders. If only we can pause and make that one turn to the right and identify one person to help. If we can make a determination to help make it easier for one person a day, imagine that's more than 1 million people's lives being made easier every single day. And that really can mean a lot. And that's why Asha said he wants to raise 1 million Mother Teresas.
Very nice. Can you talk about your philosophy? I know you've told me before that don't wait for the apples to come, meaning the money to come, that at this point, do what you can with what you have. Can you share a bit more about your philosophy?
Yes, thank you, Sister Lynn, for that question. My philosophy, and I was so happy actually to hear Ash mention it, and I'm happy to hear some founders also mentioning it, is that we all have something to give. We each have something to give. We can put a smile on someone's face, and we don't have to wait for the apples to begin. I know there are so many founders out there who have already started doing it, putting smiles on people's faces. We have seen how they share. Unfortunately, I'm not, I celebrate. First, I have to say this. I celebrate everyone who has shared what they are doing. I was kind of raised that when I do something, my right hand does something, my left hand shouldn't know. But I think with ONPASSIVE, this is going to change soon so that I can start coming out and speak. But I'm not used to speaking to what I do. And I believe that if we can move, as we have seen some moving, and some are moving quietly behind the scenes, doing good things around the world without expecting to be noticed. If we can continue doing that, we don't have to wait for the apples or for the cherries to come before we start. We can do that now. Let's purpose each day as founders. When I wake up in the morning, and I'm training my children to do the same, who can I put a smile on their face today? What can I do to make it easier for someone? Not what can someone do to make it easier for me. I believe we'll be a better society if we can grow like that and teach our children and our children's children, so that as we are the ambassadors now in ONPASSIVE, the ONPASSIVians, the pioneers, as we are setting that foundation so that it can continue for generations to come.
Wow. That is so, so amazing. We really appreciate. Auntie Lynn, if you permit me, please, let me just acknowledge our sweet guests. You people make us really proud. We are always very nervous, but you make us feel like, okay, we have you. You have our backs. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but Lynn and myself, we really appreciate that you are here for us, and you are giving us the courage. Thank you, Rob Gorman. You are there behind us all the time. You just make us feel so special. We really appreciate. Patricia Parents, thank you. Your contributions are always very, very wonderful. And Sister Gladys, I will try as much as I can to put the messages on the screen so you can see how much people are resonating with what you are saying. Patricia says we all can bless someone just with a smile, handshake, a meal, clothing, before any money comes, So let's do what we can before big or small. That's just it. And this resonates with something that this person, Frank Amponza, last week, he was on my show and he said something that I actually quoted it somewhere. He says, I want to be a reason why someone should smile. That's the same thing Gladys is saying in other words, So it's so sweet how much we all are here together, over 100, because many people are watching on the other channel too. We're running on 2 channels. Do well to subscribe if you haven't yet, please. Thank you. So all of us, it means just a lot. Gladys says, if everybody, you don't need to do much, like Mr. Mufare says, you cannot change the world, because you can change one person's world. So if we commit in changing just the world of a single soul, then 1 million people's lives or worlds would be changed by 1 million of us. How sweet that sounds, Auntie Lynn. I don't know. Let me not keep you waiting so long, because I know you're eager to say something. Definitely.
Well, that's so powerful,
Yeah.
So even if you're not a wealthy person, you're wealthy within because you have a heart,
Yep.
and you're caring and loving. And, even a touch, a smile, a hug, a shake of a hand, all of that is just as meaningful as giving someone food or money, So every one of us can make a difference in someone's lives. And, I wanted to ask Gladys, because, Gladys, you coming to America, I think it was all the way it's supposed to happen. It's just not a coincidence that now you're here in America and doing what you're doing. So I kind of want to know how that happened, how you went from Kenya to the United States, and how you think it was all meant to be. I think it was all meant to be.
Lynn, you said exactly something that I say every time that I go in prayer. I thank God. And I realize with the time that God brought me here for a purpose. And I thank God for helping me to realize that earlier on when I came here. My family was a very humble family, and I could never think of coming to the US on my own. But the priest who helped me wanted to help me to go to Germany. So I had just started learning Germany to try and, figure out how to greet people. But I think God had a plan for me, because after about 2 weeks, I went to a funeral that was happening near, and my uncle had come from the US. And he just asked me, have you ever thought of going to the US? And I told him no. He's a priest in the US. So I told him, no, I never thought of, going to the US. Then he told me I have some I-20s. I asked him, what's an I-20? He told me it's an application to college. I will give you to apply, fill it up. I will take it for you, and then we can see what happens from there. And then when I went back to speak to our parish priest, who really sponsored my education from high school and everything, he paid my tuition. I was never sent home from school. He was thrilled because he knew my uncle, and he said, oh yeah, that actually I was concerned. I should tell you, I was concerned of you going to Germany because of the language. So I spoke to him, and we agreed that you should really consider going to the US. And I did the application without really understanding what I'm doing. The application came over here, and I was called to college. And the bank statement from Africa to the US college is a lot of money for you to be given a visa. My bishop back home gave me a visa of a good amount of money. I will not disclose the figure because it's for the diocese. He gave me a good bank statement, and I went to the embassy. And when I went to the embassy, they told me all they need is a letter guaranteeing that I'll be given a job when I finish. And then I got that letter, and that's it. I was given a visa just like that. And I came to the US, and since I came here and started the mission of charity work immediately. You know, even if
Okay.
it was $50 that I got, that was it. I shared it.
I would like, yeah, I would like to pop in really quick, yeah, because it feels really good. And listening to you, everybody is trying to understand where you are coming from, because there's always a reason behind why somebody is the way they are. We can see that you know how it feels sharing, you know how it feels receiving help. You want somebody to feel the way they felt when this parish priest did to you, right? And all of these things, and we really, really do appreciate. You there's this one thing you said which I would like you to comment on, because my brother here in Zingwan again says, if it were in Cameroon, Ash would have been corrupted not to do what he is doing, which we understand that is human nature, right? But unfortunately or fortunately, Ash, I would say, this is me saying it, Ash is incorruptible, because he would have been corrupted before now. We're almost 1.5 million, right? And there's this thing Gladys says, he wants to bring value to people and not take value from people. That sounds exactly what Tegen is saying here, because that is the mindset. So how do you intend, you need to break it down a bit, and elaborate more on this if you can. You say you are for the your idea is taking value to people and not bringing it from. How do you tie this to unpassive and what you have in mind to do to people? I hope my question is really clear for you. Yeah.
Okay. What I want to do to people in normal circumstances, when you see things happen, people starting businesses, usually they ask for money, they ask for to receive more than to give. Speaking about Ash himself, we have seen him. I remember when he was giving the phones to the people, he gave people iPhone Pro Max 12. And if you remember one webinar, he showed his phone and he had an iPhone 8. I was like, how can you give people iPhone 12 when you have 8? And they gave more than one iPhone, and we saw that. And my goal is, when I am going to, through Obless, if I'm going to help people back home, I should really give wholeheartedly without expecting them to give back. We have seen organizations where money is raised to help organizations back home, but it never reaches to the people. So we are going to do things differently. I am going to do things differently. It has always to start with me before I can expect other people to do. So that whenever someone comes to our hands for help, we don't prey on them, but we be the ones who can offer that compassion. We be the ones who can offer that love. We can be the ones who can help those children who are suffering go to school through academy, even help those who cannot be able to come to the US be able to study from where they are. There are so many things that we can do. We have to be focused on making it better for somebody, alleviating the pain from someone, making someone have a chance to sleep well, like just to make it better for someone instead of us first. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. I think when I look at you, Gladys, I think of you as someone who has been helped, and your life is completely changed because of the help that you received without even asking for the help. Someone helped you, and unexpectedly you got this help, and it brought you to where you are today. And I think you are such a loving and kind person because of the help you received and the fact that you want to give back just as you want to give. Is that an accurate assessment?
Yes, Sister Lynn. I've shared my story before. I encourage people to go, if you guys can put it on your YouTube, I believe it's also on Mary's channel. The webinar that I did on PNG, webinar for PNG, I think it was sometimes in March. That webinar, I shared my full story. If you listen to that webinar, you will see why I'm passionate about charity. When I see my age mates where they are now, out of no offense of their own. It's because they never had a chance. Someone did not notice them, as I was lucky to be noticed by a priest called Father Hallelujah in Kenya. If he did not notice me and try to train me to give me big personality to tell me you can do it, you can be the best, you know, you are going to the best girls' school in the district, he encouraged me that I could be better. If had they had, I believe, had they had someone to recognize them, they could be in the same position that I am. But because I've been blessed and lucky to be here because of him, because of the priest who helped me, God used him to help me. I have also to extend the same love. Through Oh Bless, I'm planning to extend the same love to the children of my age mates. You know, I may not be able to help my age mates, but I can do something to their children.
That's very, very important, Auntie Lynn. For some reason, I think I'll get stronger and stronger each day, because each time we discuss this, I get so emotional because I know exactly what she is talking about, right? Right now, if we are just calling on you guys, whoever is motivated to share, because this is a son of, you are just uplifting people. You know, you are just blessing people by sharing your life, because people learn from this. Some people have no idea that people go through certain conditions in their lives and they still make it, right? So that is how much people go through, and how many millions of children are we going to prevent from going through what we went through? How many of us are going to become this parish priest today and just pick a child, close our eyes and just pick children, because we can send as many as we can to school? That's what makes me finally smile. I'm like, oh my God, this is just the time. So guys, if you are joining us and if you are watching us and you are not yet a founding member of ONPASSIVE, you don't know what ONPASSIVE is all about, drop a question, drop a comment, let us know. I am trying to run the both channels, but so if you are on my channel or on the Lynn's channel, we will pick them. We're keeping an eye. Thank you, John Barilla, for reminding people to watch both sides. So even you, John, please, if you see an important and interesting comment on the other side, kindly bring it up. I know that you can do anything to let it reach us so that we have a look. If you find anybody who is not yet the founder, we put our links on the description box. So if you are interested, you scroll down and just read the link there and see learn and read about our company. If you have questions, ask. And whoever shares, tell your friend, share with your own link, share this video, but share with your own link, and let your people know about what we have to offer. Because we are not only sharing our problems or our life to entertain people, we are sharing to say that to every problem, there is a solution now as we speak, which is going to be offered to us by ONPASSIVE. So, Sister Gladys, thank you so much for sharing. And I believe that this is going to be wonderful. You have talked about Oh Bless, and our sister Marcienne just said Academy too. Academy is going to solve the problem. I don't know whether this means something to you, because we're talking about helping people. We're talking about Oh Bless because the humanitarian ingredient of ONPASSIVE. So do you think in any way Academy is going to alleviate poverty or help a kind of situation in a way, from your own angle, Sister Gladys?
Thank you, Sister Comfort, for that question regarding Academy. And the answer is yes. When a population, or when people are educated, they have a chance or an opportunity to get a job, or instead of, you know, just not being able to go to school. And we know that many people have graduated school with big debts that they have to pay, student loans. That's like that's what holding many people captive, that even after college graduation, they are not able to advance themselves because they have to continue paying the loans. But we know that Academy is going to be much, much affordable. Academy, the class literally comes to your house where you are. We saw during the pandemic, so many children were marginalized because they did not have access to online learning. But through Academy, many children and many people are going to be reached because it's going to be affordable. You don't have to worry about a student loan when you are studying in Academy. It is affordable. People are going to love it, and it's going to help people even back home. People don't, how many people attend from the embassy every day going for visas to go to different countries? With the academy, you don't have to go for that.
And
Wow.
how is this going to affect the families? You know, you folks can hear me? Can you hear me?
We can, yeah, we can hear you, even though your screen is frozen. We can hear you
Okay,
well.
okay. I noticed my screen froze. So, you know, as far as how it's going to affect the family, if you don't have to send a child away or abroad, and you don't have to sell your last family plot of land so that you have the money to send your child abroad, and then not have your child be in your family for years while they're going to school, how does that positively impact the family? How does Academy make a huge difference in society, Gladys?
If you are not sending your children to school, think of what's happening now around the world, especially here in the US. I just heard one of the founders sharing how children were hijacked in Africa, you know, very many of them by Boko Haram. And think of
Yeah.
the US, all these shootings that are going on in schools. If you can keep your children at home, they are safer at home. You can oversee them when they are studying from home. It cuts down the expense. Some kids, you know, some people have to drive or have to go by bus, you know, have to use some form of means to go to school. If you can be able to do these classes from home, you don't have to worry about all those things. And then the budget goes low. The family is educated, and that gives them an upper hand in life in terms of job opportunities than an educated population. And we know Africa, you know, we really need that. Not only Africa, but all the remote areas need to have access to education. People who commute in dry areas like deserts, children walking for miles and miles, hours to reach schools. Academy will be really a lifesaver in terms of that. And I can't wait to see it, you know, in effect and being used.
Yeah, and also the fact that with Academy, there will be such a broad array of instructors, courses, programs, degrees, that if you're in a local area, you may not have access to that variety, right? So I think that's the quality of education is going to also improve,
Right.
And
in my
yeah,
opinion.
and don't forget also the people who have skills, who want to teach, who want to use
Exactly.
academy to teach. It will be a source of income. We have so many teachers who would love to do something, but they don't have really a platform that they have everything under one shop. Like you can advertise everything, make your brochures, everything there, organize for your own Zoom. Everything is, you know, your own meetings in on passive. They sign up there, they are part of that academy, they have access to all that they need, they can get it there. So we are different.
Exactly. I think, you know, I really, one thing that I've gained from ONPASSIVE is how much people who have passed through this platform have fed me a lot. Talk less of the CEO himself and the grid leaders we listen to, right? You know, so, you know, like Auntie Lynn would say, ONPASSIVE is an equalizer, right? I can imagine, Sister Gladys, you know, our teachers back home, they work really hard because we know how much we do with, you know, they do really well. There are times I'm just like, for little or no salary. You know, I would see even myself as a young girl when I graduated from the university. The first thing you pick up is a teaching job, and you are paid 50,000 francs, which is slightly below $100, right? That's nothing. And all of those, the hard work and stuff, you have to do that and take care of family. You know, so teachers are nation builders, but they don't have a life, especially back from where we come from. But imagine that from now henceforth, a teacher will be able to upload their courses or whatever, you know, the lessons and all of those things. They'll make that money and have that opportunity to travel, to see the world, to upgrade their lives, you know, to sponsor even their own children. Because you see, the child of a teacher doesn't acquire so much education, not because the parents don't know the value of education, but because they cannot afford, you know. So all of these things, they are so uplifting, they're so upgrading. You feel really good. That time you smile in your dreams because you think about it. You're just like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know. So it's just more than helpful. And the sweetness of it is, as a founder, You know, if you're a founder or a reseller, somehow you have a hand in on passive. While you study, you choose a course or university of yours and studying. By the time you are done, you study and make money at the same time. You know, there's everything good about this. Auntie Lynn, I don't know if I'm giving out a lot. If you could throw more light
Yeah.
those,
Well,
when
I
I
was
get
going
excited.
that's
Yeah.
great points. And I was going to
Yep.
ask Gladys if she could elucidate me, as far as teacher salaries in Kenya. I would
Yes.
imagine the pay is low. And I have heard that some teachers are teaching without a salary because the school doesn't have money. And so they
Yep.
work for free, in essence,
Many,
for
many,
6 months or a year. So
Yeah.
what difference will Academy make for those teachers? And what are their pay scales? I kind of want to know.
Yes, that's a good question, Lynn. The salary for teachers, I believe, generally in most countries in Africa is negligible, but they go passionately to work every single day. My father-in-law was a teacher, a principal in school. His pension, I can't even mention,
Oh dear.
which is not fair at all. But the beautiful thing is that, and also before I say the good thing about Academy, is that teachers and even nurses, when I went home the other day, there are nurses who have worked for 2, 3 months, no salary, but they still keep going to work every single day because they love what to do. But they have a life, they have children to educate, they need to buy food. But with the Academy, now for once, teachers will have a competitive edge with the rest of the world. If they teach math or English and the pay is $25, it's going to be 25 across the world. It's not going to pay a teacher in Kenya $5 and pay a teacher in the US $25. It's going to be the same rate. So it gives us really plays a level playing ground for all countries across the globe. It doesn't matter where you come from, you can make it if you are in non-passive.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Auntie Lynn,
you.
do you want to go? Do
No,
you
go
want to?
ahead, Comfort.
All right. All right. Thank you, Sister Gladys. I'm about to ask this crazy question. I just like us to discuss this because even the CEO, he has this in mind. That's his plan, though. He plans to fill up our cups until they're full and rolling over, right? He's not interested in what is in that cup. He's just curious about what is Gladys going to do with this one that is falling on the ground, and that is it you are explaining. So tell me, what is your plan with what is in here? Is there one crazy thing you would do for yourself and your family that you thought that I really like to do this, but I can never do it because I cannot afford? Are you planning something special for you and your family when we launch?
Oh Lord. The most thing that I'm planning with my family, and this might sound ridiculous to some, but I want us to have a good dinner together and say, we did it. It has happened. That is number one. Number two, I really intend to give to all blessed, genuinely from my heart, with those first apples. A good portion of them are going to all blessed. And this one, I'm planning, I will share maybe a few pictures with you on the background. You see, it's something that can make you cry. That I saw, a few days ago. I'm having a hard time to sleep when I look at them again. That's my first priority, to bless very elderly ladies who live in a very dire situation. I don't even want to remember about it, but that's what I plan to do.
Yes, I
You,
have heard from
Auntie
people.
Lynn, I really do apologize. I was just giggling because I'm sorry. Please bear with
Go,
me,
go
guys.
ahead.
Bear with us. We can be disorderly at times.
We're so
Listen,
excited. So,
we're excited because I wanted Gladys to tell me what she's going to do for herself. She tells me of this family meal, and that's it. And the next thing she's telling you of this humanitarian, this thing that she's going to do for these people, and so on. You see how contagious the true nature of Mr. Ash Mufara is. Because it's just like people have forgotten that I exist. That is to say, whether you like it or not, you thought that you came here for money, but no, you came here for a mission, and that mission is to reach out to people. That's why she doesn't have anything to say, but have this meal that we have every Saturday, right? But then the next special thing, or the best to her, is when she builds that recreational home, or whatever she calls, for the elderly people. You are, Auntie Lynn, I'm sorry I took over, but
Oh
continue
no,
from there, please. It's
that's
so
my whole point is how Gladys's heart is so pure, you know, and I want to be like Gladys. I really do. But I wanted to
you
talk
are, of
Glad
course.
oh, thank you. But Gladys, you know, you came in 2018, I came in 2019. And when all of us were coming into ONPASSIVE, I don't think that everyone had this pure heart for humanity. Some of us did and some of us didn't. But I believe that Mr. Mufara was able to get that humanity into every one of us. I believe that many of us are such better people than we were when we before we came to ONPASSIVE. And I wanted to ask you, Gladys, what you thought of that.
Sister Lynn, that's exactly what you have said. It's true because I've heard personally from the founders. I I knew that I was compassionate from the start because that's my nature, that I love the sharing, but the desire has grown even bigger as I am in ONPASSIVE. As I realize this, oh bless, it's like my antennas are more open. I'm looking around to see what can I do. And that's why we came up with mission. That's why we came up with missionaries for Africa, so that we can be able to, come together, go to one country, do something, if it's water that's needed, if it's food that is needed, if it's education, our help is needed to educate the children, if it's health care, so many sad stories that we hear. And I've had many founders. Actually, I just saw one, Sister Myra Aquino. She shared with me, and I'm sorry, Myra, I'm going to have to say it here, that, since she came in ONPASSIVE, she has become much more sensitive to people's needs. Of course, she was very compassionate, always helped, but her vision has grown. And every time she sees the larger scale at which she is going to do it. So people have been transformed. I have been transformed myself.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel that way as well, that I feel like I am personally transformed as well. And when you hear people tell stories of coming into ONPASSIVE at the beginning, I think most people will admit that they came into ONPASSIVE for one reason. It was for that income. They needed money. Basically, what they were having in their lives is not enough, and they were struggling, and they were looking for a way to improve their quality of life, basically. But over time, their hearts got softer and kinder. I think, and that I really believe that it's from Mr. Mufara, his influence. As we got to hear him week in and week out, right? All these years, we usually hear from him at least weekly, and it just sunk in, and it really hit us. I think that's transformed many people, and there's almost 1.5 million founder positions in this company, and I believe most of them have this pure heart now. Would you agree?
Exactly.
What do you think?
That's very, very, very true, Lynn, because I came in personally myself because I wanted to be able to have that extra income, have time with my children, have time with my family. But then as you stay on, yes, I wanted to help, but I had nowhere ever dreamed to dream at the larger scale that I'm dreaming now. Right now, it's like I'm unstoppable. When I talk to my mom, I can't wait to get electricity to my village where I was born. Like the dreams are way bigger than just sending $50, $100 to help, little handouts, and empowering people so that they can be independent also. So I agree with you. The dreams have become bigger, the hearts have become softer and gentler.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you so much. Auntie Lynn, quickly, from my channel, Whitney Fred, who is one of the heroes in the house. Everybody should buckle up and come up next week to listen to Winifred's story and what she is doing in Rwanda. She says, thank you so much, leaders. I always don't feel comfortable being called leaders. So leaders, Gladys, Comfort, and Lynn, for this inspirational webinar. This is what the world needs. People of heart, full of kindness and good hands to bless others. Thanks to Mr. Ash. That's good. So Sister Helen says, all right. We just need to stop here and send a word of condolence to our sister Helen in the house. She just lost a nephew. Yeah, who is a priest? I've heard about this, but I didn't know it concerns you. So he died apparently of a car accident or something like that. Who was a parish priest. So sorry, sis, we share your loss. And yeah, many great contributions, Auntie Lynn. I'm just trying to get a few, so to give a shout out so that the people from the other channel don't feel left out. That's why I'm trying to do this. So guys, thank you so much. John Borilla is actually, he's a guardian angel. I don't know how he does it, but he's all over the place. He's everywhere, just like Rob. There are two of them now. Thank you guys for being there for us. We really do appreciate. Auntie Lynn, do you want to say hi? Just send some love. They are doing really well. They make us feel that we're doing something, right?
Yes, I want to thank the supporters of our program. You know, we do promote insights with Lynn and Comfort, and it's important because if we don't, people won't hear about us. So we have a lot of the people here in the chat today are helpers. You know, they go and they comment on our Facebook posts, they post in WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups. Marcienne is very consistent in promoting, and so is Myra. Pat Parent is also very helpful, and quite a number of others here in the chat that are there for us at all times. And I also see some of our Kenyan friends. Gladys, you can go ahead and mention some of the Kenyans you see in the group. Go for it, Gladys.
Oh, I don't think
we had Wycliffe is here, and then we had Daniel Mugo was here. We had some. The chat flies by quickly, but we have quite a number of Kenyans here that are our supporters as well. So we thank you because we know you got to buy data to be here. So appreciate your sacrifice to be listening to the program. We appreciate you.
If you can, I just want to give shout out to, especially we appreciate anybody who is joining from the places where you need to pay for data. We appreciate that because they're doing really well. And that's just the way to go, because this is your new life anyway. So you're just sacrificing for something that in a couple of weeks from now, you will smile from molar to molar. So one of them here is my brother Ndingwantegen. He's calling, I think, from home. He is always here. All the time he comes up and tells me, I watched this, you said this, you and this person said, and he's so, present all the time. He says he's planning by the grace of God, if ONPASSIVE will accept of palm tree race and or coconut tree race. This will help your youth to climb palm trees, which will help us have palm oil, which is all right, bro. We need to discuss this. I think if your data permits, he needs to come up with this. Until this is a good idea, because I know exactly where he's talking from. He's speaking from home. So we need to discuss this, bro. Contact me privately. Thank you for that contribution. Guys, we really do appreciate, and we can't thank you enough, right? So, Auntie Lynn, there's something that Patricia said. I wanted you to comment on it. I can't afford not to have it again, because she was trying to reiterate what you said, because you say you don't find any reason, right, why somebody should be hungry when there is abundance, be it in Africa or any part of the world. I think we need to go back, because people who came in, Gladys is that person who says, why should your neighbor be hungry when you live in abundance? And this time around, you have more than enough and you need to do something. So if you could just comment on that. I hope I find that very thing. I think it's Patricia. She's always like, thank you.
Yeah. And I think, we talk about distribution of wealth or resources, that, there's a lot of wealth in the world. It's just not distributed fairly. So that's why we have the haves and the have-nots. And Pat Parent is well aware of that, I'm sure. But I think this is why ONPASSIVE is here. It's here at a good time, right? I think Gladys will agree with me that we're going through a global recession. It's beginning and it's not going to end very soon. And that ONPASSIVE is going to have a big place in this global economic reset, in my opinion. What do you think, Gladys, of that?
Thank you, Lynn, for that contribution. Yes, I'm sure when you speak to people, you have a huge team from Kenya, Sister Comfort, your family back home, even in the UK, here in the US, and I have family home. We can clearly say that the recession is going on. It's not being spoken about openly, but we know things are happening. We see the pain in our pocketbooks at this time across the globe. And I believe that ONPASSIVE was really meant for such a time as this, that in due time, during this recession, it's going to be the stimulus in a way, and the world will know, and the founders can testify when that time comes. So I believe this is the business of the season, and we are in the right place.
Wow.
And why
You
should
know,
your neighbor be hungry? I believe that, we founders, when those cherries start coming, we're gonna be able to turn on the side and see who is hurting, and we lend a hand, because we have to make it easier for somebody, and it has to come from the heart, doing good around the world, contributing to humanity. Thank
oh
you.
my God. What Ash has done, Auntie Lynn, is kind of reduce the whole world into a small, tiny one family, right? Because it just any day from now, it's going to be like, let me kind of quickly share. You have an idea to the problem I have from home, right? Because what we do is we don't call people by their names. If this person is suffering from some particular thing, if it's a young person, we'll just call that child. Has the child been taken care of? We know it's just like we all of us become a parent to that particular person suffering, or a child to that grandfather suffering and stuff. That is what ONPASSIVE is doing. And all of us, we think the same, we plan the same stuff and so on. And it is such a joy, such a joyful, wonderful thing. One thing about some of us here, we represent a lot of, we're African by origin. You are from where you come from, until Lynn. And so we have home like homeland, and we equally have home like where we are resident, we are based, we got new nationalities and stuff. So Sister Gladys, if you can, there's much you are planning for homeland, build schools, buy stuff and all the like. What is your plan for your community where you live in the United States of America? Because there's work, fields are wide, right? So where do you go harvesting in the US as far as humanitarian
Mhm.
stuff is concerned? Freezing a
In the
bit?
United States, I recently moved to North Carolina, but I have
Oh dear, you're freezing. So if you can, Antilene, can you hear me? Move. It's like you're freezing too. Oh yeah, perfect. You're moving. So Sister Gladys, if you can just slide out before you come back again. Yeah.
Oh,
Speak now. Let's hear. Oh dear. Maybe you quickly go out and then come again while I let Antilene
can
just
you hear?
drop it. Uh-oh.
Kind of, you're going in and out.
Okay, I
I
don't know
think that's
what's
going to help.
happening.
Now it's a little bit
Yeah,
better.
it looks better, much
Okay,
better now.
Better
is that
now.
is that is that better?
You are good where you are. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, so in terms of the United States, I lived in New Jersey for 20 years. I've lived in North Carolina for, I recently moved here less a year or so, close to 2 years, not 2 years yet. I'll say a year and a half now. So I know very well the needs of New Jersey. And while I explore, the new state, I plan to do something for the state of New Jersey. The hospital that I worked in, and I knew we had the challenge of where to discharge the homeless patients to, because many shelters in the city where I worked do not have elevator. So that's my dream, that at some point I'm going to be able to do something towards making it safer for the homeless to be discharged home to a facility safely, where they can go, so that they don't have to stay in the hospital until they are able to walk in a cane before they can go home safely, or a walker. somewhere they can go even with a wheelchair. If there's an elevator, they can be able to leave the hospital sooner than stay longer in the hospital. So that's my passion.
Wow. Auntie Lynn, do you want to comment on that? That's so sweet. Thank you, sis.
That is
Oh, God.
wonderful. I wanted to kind of go in a little different direction.
Yep.
We talk about, how we help others by giving food, giving clothing, giving money, etc. But I want to also talk about how ONPASSIVE can empower those that we are helping. And I think Gladys might have a perspective on how we are actually not just handing out, but actually empowering people.
Yep.
I'm sure Gladys can share about that. Uh-oh,
Oh, dear.
her internet.
All right.
While we wait for her, I'll
Yes.
have
Yeah,
Comfort
thank you,
respond
Lynn,
to
for
me.
that.
Oh, Christian. Okay, go ahead.
Carry on.
Is it clear? Can you hear me?
Now you're okay.
Oh.
Cross our fingers.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Go for it.
Oh, Lord. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes,
yes.
Sister Gladys, speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Empowerment. Uh-oh, she froze again.
All right. Let's give her time to find her voice. Auntie Lynn, did
Can
you
you
want
hear me,
to
Lynn?
talk?
Yes.
Yes.
Now we
better?
can. Yes. So far, so good.
Oh.
Go for it.
Is that okay now? Can you? Okay. Sorry about that. Instead,
It's all right.
it's the network. It seems it's the network. I don't know. Yes, I believe that the best thing, as they say, is to teach people to fish instead of giving them a fish to eat for a day. And Ash has mentioned about the importance of empowering people. And I believe that if we go to help, if we do something for the homeless population, it's also good to provide for them, first of all, to assess them, to talk to them, to see if they are ready for change, and then find out community resources by cooperating with the local city, with the social workers in the community, and understanding your state. That's why I'm passionate about New Jersey, because at least I know the ins and outs of New Jersey about the homeless, so that we can try to. Some of them will need some rehabilitation. Some of them, they were just a paycheck away and they became homeless, so that those people can be helped to get on their feet by maybe helping them to get, those who need training to have training, those who need to go to the job market. Maybe all they need is just clothes. In New Jersey, we had a group that helped to clothe homeless people, prepare them for the interviews, so that they can go out to the job market. So it's about also not just feeding them, clothing them, but also exposing them to get the skills so that they can be independent.
Wow. That's just so great, Auntie Lynn. I know that you wanted to give me a go. I don't know if you still want me to.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely. We
go.
want you to have a go.
I just, I love empowerment, right? So
Yes, exactly.
yeah, because this thing I'm sharing from personal experience, in that, like, a few people know, my people are suffering right now. There are people who used to be professionals, they're lecturers, they're teachers, they're business people, but because they don't have a means of living and they have to depend on you, it reduces your quality of life, in that you don't have that self-esteem. You're waiting for handouts from somebody, and if they don't share, if they don't extend that hand of fellowship to the next minute, you don't know where the next bread is coming from, and you feel, you are not, you just feel like, oh my God, is it worth even living, and stuff like that. So it uplifts, it elevates your self-confidence, self-esteem. You're like, I'm worth something just because I can provide for myself. So it's all about providing the nets now, and the funds and everything, because we have it. It's no longer about giving handouts. And of course, like we have been saying, both of us, until Lane, when you have that self-esteem that I'm happy, I can fend for me and my children, You shake off the stress now, you smile all the time, you're proud of yourself. You equally, what happens? Improvement in your quality of life, and it helps you live longer because you live healthy and stuff. There is much to empowerment that we can take even the next hour, which we dare not, right? So, Angelina, I think I'll
That's
hand
that's
over. Yeah.
that's a good point, and also when people are empowered and they also get into better financial situations because of that empowerment, what are they going to do, Comfort? What are they going to do, Gladys? They're going to emulate the help that they received. So since they got empowered, we hope that they will empower others. So you spread the good globally. I mean, there's going to be a massive, massive impact just from unpassive, unpassivians. Just those people alone will make a humongous impact.
I know. Right.
Exciting, very exciting. What do you
It
think,
is.
Gladys, of that? Think it's going to happen,
Thanks,
Gladys?
Lynn. I believe that as we continue doing this, and as the time comes that we are going to do at a larger scale, giving is a lifestyle. Charity or being sensitive to the needs of humanity is a lifestyle. And as many founders are already doing, they have entered in that stream of that lifestyle. So when we do it at a larger scale, empowering people around the world, trying to provide for those who are really in need around the world, it's going to be contagious. It is going to be unstoppable. It's going to be unstoppable for sure. And I can't wait to see that.
I know. I know it's on. That's the good thing, it's unstoppable, and it goes back to our CEO reason for which we're here anyway. We're here to educate ourselves about general knowledge, what's happening nowadays, how do we go on with life, and we're here to provide solution through our company, our business on passive. Big shout out to my partner in empowerment. It's not partner in crime anymore. We're partners in empowerment. Sister Fumi, she's one of those. She started humanitarian works when she was 16. She would sell guava and fruit and then share the money with the neighbor next door. That was good. Thank you, sis. We heard your story. She actually launched this show. Thank you, sis, for always being there. We love you. Yeah. So, and to Lynn, what do you think? Do we gradually start wrapping up so that our people will be happy for us and come back again next time?
Yes, I
Meanwhile,
think I
there's
think so. Yeah.
something. There's.
Hmm.
Let me just. Yeah. While you go ahead, Auntie Lynn, and just
I
start
was just
wrapping
going to
up.
appreciate the active chat that we have going in Comfort's YouTube channel chat as well as my chat under Lynn Nakamoto. We've had over 100 Comfort, over 100 people actively chatting. I think that's a record for us, and I think that
Yes,
it will
indeed.
keep happening as people spread the news about our weekly program. And
Yeah.
we'll be sure to provide you with good content and good visitors, good guests, such as we had today with Gladys. And we love the fact that you interact with us. You see the comments that appear on the screen. We're valuing what you have to say. What you say matters to us and it matters to the world. So we hope to continue to provide this awesome program for you.
Sure. Thank you so much, guys. As we expect that you come back, if you stumble on this video, either you're watching now or you stumble on it at some point, and you feel that you want to know what is it that we're discussing about because you don't know about on passive, and you want to be part of this thing that we're planning to do to help millions of people, drop a comment. If you have a question, maybe you are just a new founder, maybe you joined on midnight of the 21st of June, breaking into the 22nd. Drop a question, drop a comment, anything. We can call, we can make another show just to answer to your questions and to keep it going. Guys, you really make Lynn and myself feel that we are not wasting time. We are so humbled for your support, for everything, the love and everything. We receive it with joy and happiness and thanksgiving. And we hope to see you again next week, same time. Believe me, who is coming here next week? Our sister Winfried from Rwanda. I am very, very excited, and I hope Lynn too, because we have an idea who she is and what she does. And guys, stay tuned. Same time next week, we are going to be here. Guys, remember to subscribe if you haven't yet on my channel, on Auntie Lynn's channel. continue to share. But when you share the video with friends and family, share it together with a link generated from your back office, because you want to keep your family close to your heart so that you guide them along this new life. Am I right, Auntie Lynn?
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Oh, and as Comfort said, be sure to subscribe to our channels, both of our channels. But not only that, you got to click the bell icon. Why? Because when you click that bell icon, you will get notified when there are new videos on the channel, and you will get notified when we're doing this program, which is every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 p.m. UK time. So you want to be sure you click that bell icon, right, Comfort?
Exactly. And please, we would like people to message us privately. So if you are interested in coming and sharing and blessing people, you are very welcome. Just let us know. If you don't come to us, know that we are coming after you. If you were not here today, know that you might be the one next week. So you can't escape, because we know you all anyway. So, Sister Gladys, it's not like we want to keep you and take over the show, which was actually yours. So if you have a last word, the time now is yours, sis. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Comfort and Sister Lynn. This was a wonderful moment of sharing. And I thank everyone who attended. And I just hope that we will continue as ONPASSIVIANS with the same mission to do good around the world. Let's be among the 1 million and more Mother Teresa's to join our CEO in taking the vision of all blessed around the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. See you really, really soon, as we all are getting ready for the best shapes of our lives. I'm very excited. Thank you, guys, and much love from us. Bye.
Love you all. Thank you
Love
so
you all,
much for
guys.
being
Thank
here.
you.
Thanks for your support.
Thanks.
Thanks,
God
Gladys.
bless.
We love you, Gladys.
Thanks, Sister Gladys.